and we've got our 5th game of the Wildcard weekend slate. We've got Detroit hosting a playoff game. Yes, you heard me correctly. Detroit is hosting a playoff game.
The Texans and the Lions, baby.
Texans and the Lions. But they've got their old quarterback coming to town. Script writers went crazy with this one. Stafford for the first game, a playoff game in Detroit.
Yeah, you're really going to see some ghosts roaming the crowd there in Detroit.
So we've got this game right now as 3-point favorites for the Lions, and the total is our highest total of the weekend. So bookmakers are expecting this to be a little bit of a shootout, and that total's at 51.5. So Gage, what are your first thoughts on this?
Oh, definitely agree with what the odds makers are saying here. Definitely see a lot of points in this game. Especially with as aggressive as both of these head coaches are, Dan Campbell, Sean McVay, both guys that are, tend to, especially with Campbell, McVay as well, that lean with the aggressiveness and going forward and trying to go for the points. So do agree with the high total here. Really going back and forth on the side here, man, because loved the Rams and still do. In this matchup, I really think that they can play well in this game, and I really think that they can win this game. But the publicness of the Rams is really scaring me. It seems like not getting any love from Detroit right now. Like nobody's really picking Detroit. It kind of feels like they're getting disrespected a little bit as the NFC North champions, as the team with an elite pass rusher and Aiden Hutchinson. A team with multiple options on offense. Amon St. Brown having an awesome year. Gibbs just exploding here at the end of the year. Just Sam Laporta, obviously. He's out, right? Or is he?
He's probably out. Him and Khalif Raymond were both given an outside shot of playing this game, but both most likely out.
Yeah, so that's actually really big. But just really feel like the Lions are getting disrespected here a little bit. So I'm stepping back a little bit. Do like the Rams a lot here. I think Puka with his awesome season, Cooper Kupp, obviously Kyron Williams, just some guys stepping up to the plate and hitting home runs for the Rams. And then Stafford obviously going to be playing with a huge chip on his shoulder. That's going to be an awesome environment. Really going to be a fun game. It's going to be a great game to watch. Dan Campbell always seems to have something up his sleeve, so don't fall asleep on any punts. Don't take any bathroom breaks. You make sure that game is on commercial before you go to the bathroom, because Dan Campbell will do something crazy in this game. You can almost guarantee it. So really fun game to watch. What are you kind of thinking here?
A couple different things. So one, I know Stafford and that offense has to be salivating at the numbers these receivers have been putting up against the Lions the last couple weeks. You had Jay Jettis go for $190.
Yeah.
You had CD go for what, 227?
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, it would have been another score, but the touchback, whatever.
And then the game, even before that game, Justin Jefferson for another 140.
Yeah.
So with two really good receivers with Kupp and then Puka, who just set the rookie record for most yards in a season as a rookie and receptions.
Yes, sir.
Both of those guys will be excited. Even though we just saw the Lions get CJ back.
Yeah.
Gardner Johnson coming back from injury, playing safety. Maybe help stabilize them a little bit in the back end. The other interesting thing, you have two awesome young running backs on either side. You've got Kyron Williams, who you mentioned, who absolutely changed this Rams team. The difference between him being healthy and missing games this year was insane.
Yeah.
And then you've got the first-round pick, Jahmyr Gibbs, who has really come into his own, sharing a backfield with David Montgomery, who's also been really good.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting because we're talking about the receivers on the Rams, but really they win when they run the ball well.
Right.
And what team can do, what team can stop the run or stop the pass, and make the other team one-dimensional. Last thing I kind of wanted to mention, maybe two of my favorite possible head coaching candidates for next year. The offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, for the Lions, and the defensive coordinator, Raheem Morris, for the Rams.
Yeah, very, very interesting topic you bring up there, because you got to figure whoever team loses, both those guys you mentioned have already been on the hook for interviews. So as soon as that season's over, they're going to be looking at head coaching jobs. So really big game for these teams, because you never know. Everything could blow up after this game. So One thing I do think is a little underrated here is that Rams defense, and I think that's kind of maybe why I'm leaning Rams. I think the experience of some of these guys, obviously Donald and company, I think that's maybe what puts them over the edge here. Obviously, you love golf at home, so it gets to stay inside, gets to do all the, all of the things we love to see with golf. So very interesting game, but I want to take the Rams here, but I'm more or less just going to watch this very interesting matchup and just like to see how it plays out.
I think it's definitely a take the Rams and then maybe look for a live spot to bet the Lions and maybe get both teams a plus money.
Like that.
It's just awesome, too, seeing both of these teams get exactly what you want out of that trade. The Rams traded for Stafford and won their Super Bowl and are in the playoffs again. And who knows, things start falling your way, you could make another run. The Lions have got a bunch of great pieces. Mm-hmm. And I don't know there's been anybody better at drafting these past couple of years than the Lions.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, Laporta, even though we might not see him this game. Gibbs, we're talking Brian Branch, we're talking Aiden Hutchinson, we're talking Penei Sewell. We're talking some really good drafted pieces. And also the explosiveness of Jamison Williams.
Yeah.
So really intrigued to see which receiver has a big game, whether we're talking Kupp or Puka, or we're talking the sun god Amon-Ra St. Brown, who just seems to go for 7 catches, 90 yards, and a touchdown every game.
Yeah.
And seeing who can maybe make that key, Scott, because once again, that total set at 51.5, and how good golf has been at home and how good this Rams team has been recently. Who's going to make that key, Scott, in a game that's expected to be high scoring?
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. Going to be an awesome playoff environment. Like you said, it's going to come down to that last stop, and maybe it's going to come down to who has the ball last. This is going to be a really fun game, and really looking forward to watching it and seeing. I think Puka's going to have a big game, so I think Puka maybe is the X factor here, and I look for maybe Rams a little 31-28 action.
Just for fun, I'll say Kupp goes for a big game because, it's 50-50 between those guys, even though Puka had the better season.
Yeah.
And once again, let us know who y'all think's going to win. Do we see Detroit in their first home playoff game? Like I said, winning that division. So Ford Field, they've only hosted a Super Bowl there. And, of course, the Lions weren't playing in that. But now Ford Field gets a home game. So you'll see Megatron in the building. Once again, if you enjoy this comment, 3 free ways to support us. Like, comment, subscribe. Boost the algorithm so our videos get shown. And also just lets us know what y'all like. We want to make some content that's enjoyable for y'all. Maybe help y'all win a couple bets or just be more knowledgeable watching the game.
Yes, sir. And as always, thanks again, man. Look forward to seeing y'all on social media. Shout us out, Tease the League, on all platforms, Instagram, Twitter, or X, whatever you like to say, TikTok, and just anytime you see us, give us a holler.